So now we are going to complete our redundancy chapter. There are few questions which are remaining. So let's see the next question. That is question number 10. Peruvian food has gained widespread popularity in recent years. Over the past decade, introducing such tantalizing dishes as causa, a layered potato dish, and lomo saltado, a Chinese Peruvian fusion stir fry. The first option is we are going to see here the widespread popularity in recent years. There is a repetition of word in recent years or over the past decade. So we have to remember these things. So in a no chance. So actually this is not right because there is a repetition of word, that is the recent years over the past decade. The next one is popularity in many countries that are everywhere. There is also repetition of words which have the same meanings, that is the many countries as well as everywhere. And in the delta, last option, and achieved global popularity. So there is a not such fit with the questions. Widespread there is a, and it is start with the he gained and achieved global popularity. This is not so much suitable. So when we see the Charlie options, there is a right answer because there is a global popularity. He gained global popularity over the past decade. That is the best one. Let's see the question number 11. So in question number 11, the Iliad is a true home run in the history of classical literature, providing a host of literary techniques and heroic ideals which influenced the approach which was taken by subsequent poets who come later. There is actually repetition of words such as which was taken by subsequent and who come later. There is already mentioned in the above uh, lines, that is the history of classical literature providing a host literary techniques and heroic ideals. That is already in the past and you are such notating. So that is alpha is the wrong. In Charlie of influential nature impacting the approach of poets who came after, which influenced subsequent poets who changed their approach as a result. Actually when read the options, bravo is the shortest and no any repetition of words in the bravo, so bravo is the correct one. So let's see our next question. That's the question number 12. Colloquially known as the Pushkin speech of Fyodor Dostoevsky's 1880 commemoration of the great Russian poet Alexander Pushkin, was also a powerful appeal to national sentiment of the entire country. Eyewitness reports indicate that the audience members, inspired by the concept of a universal brotherhood, wept and embraced each other. Let's see the options. There is a sentiment, and now there is a semicolon. Then after eyewitness reports indicate that audience members. Actually, there is a wrong punctuation of the semicolon, so we can eliminate. We can also select the correct option by the elimination method, because when there is a two independent clause, then we have separate by it as a semicolon or as a fanboys rule, comma and fanboys rule, that is the for and not but or at. So we can eliminate this one because we need sentiments here. Then after we have a eyewitness, the sentiment of the entire country. Actually there is also powerful appeal to national, that is the when we put the national, then we don't have to put the of the entire country. So we can, there is a repetition of word, so we can eliminate alpha option from that sector, and we need semicolon on sentiments instead of after the country. So by these methods we are able to eliminate all the options without reading options. It saves our time to utilize in auto correction. So bravo is the correct one because there is a repetition of words in the alpha. Let's see next question. Finland is the greatest global consumer of coffee in the world. The daily average consumption is estimated at approximately 2.64 cups per person. So Finland is the greatest global consumer of coffee in the world. So this questions is basically, so when we see global world, that is a repetition of word, so we can avoid eliminate the options by observing these words. That in alpha there is a no option, because there is a wrong option, because global and gold there is a representation of what, and most significant global consumer of coffee. There is no such word that is the most significant. That is also and there is no any, so we can eliminate this global consumer of coffee each day. There is no saying such like that. The daily average consumption already mentioned in the next word. So there is also repetition about each day, the daily average. The best one is the Charlie option, consumer of coffee in the world. Here global is eliminated because there is already mentioned the world, so we don't have to mention global. So by this way we completed 13 questions, which is basically most important, and we have to practice these questions by the elimination method, why it is wrong, why it is right. When we do something like that, we are able to get the correct answer in the precise answer, and we get a good marks in CST. So there is the end for our redundancy. So next chapter will be our syntax. That is the most important chapter, because I need to do student also think that the redundancy is the hard chapter. So let's practice next chapter.